What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Telcoin today. It is the 29th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $0.005 right now with 1 day, 9 hours left in this month, 1 day, 9 hours left in this week, about 8 hours, 32 minutes left in this day here. And I do believe that TEL might have lower to go. Now, originally, I want to say back here, we started talking about Telcoin. We talked about it throughout this drop. We've talked about it well before this, but originally, whenever we started talking about Telcoin recently, it was basically at this low here. We expected that we see a higher move, maybe a higher high, maybe a lower high, whatever the case was there, but that we would come back and we'd likely find a slightly lower low and then recover and build from there, right? The idea was that this whole time here, I was advocating that nobody buy, that you wait until we're below this low and then you hit the buy button, right? Not a financial advice, not a financial advisor. That was just my thoughts. And it worked out well so far. But what I didn't think would happen is that we get tied up here. Whenever you take a high to a low fib, right, we've got like we do here, whenever you're measuring from a range and you retrace back down to here, and I think actually this would be the fib to take. This is the fake out high. I think this is the fib to take, to be completely fair. Whenever you go from your 382 to your 236 and you reject like this and you're back down to your 382, that typically says that you go to the 0.5 or the golden ratio. Something in here. What I'm saying is that typically when the chart looks like this, you would fully expect that you go down to the golden ratio or the 0.5 at least, right? And let's actually put some lines down there and just see if that makes sense as far as support goes. Let's put a line there, a line there. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just do that. And then I'll look at this on a daily time frame. Let's go back and look. We'll delete this, delete the chicken scratch. I mean, the golden ratio is right here at prior support, prior support, prior support, resistance support here. Somewhat of a significant level. The 0.5, relatively speaking, seems less significant, but there are some points where you found support here, resistance here. It's somewhat significant as well. So something down to 0.042 or $0.037 is a possibility from here, which would imply that Telcoin has another 16 or even 26% drop to go. Now, I'm not completely confident on this call yet. This is all predicated off of this low to high retracement here. That's all it is, and maybe I take this high again. Statistically speaking, you would more likely go to the 0.5 at least, if not lower, from here before recovering and seeing the upside, just based off of this fib alone. We also look at the price action itself, and I feel like it's telling us the same story, because here, when we bounced off this area, right? Look at all these times that we bounced right off this area. Here, we had a very phenomenal reaction. Here, we had a lesser reaction. Here, an even lesser reaction, and here, an even lesser reaction. That's not good, right? Imagine I've got this price. It's coming down. We're supposed to find support right here and then go to new all-time highs. Beautiful. Oh, but we don't go to new all-time highs. It's okay. We'll do a double bottom. Oh, but we're getting a weak reaction. And a weak reaction, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to break that to the downside. That's called a descending triangle, is what that is. That's what that's called. And that's how that reaction works. That's how you can literally see the psychology playing out one bounce after another, that it's a weaker and weaker bounce, so inevitably you will break through that line. Beyond all that, again, just the fibs themselves, statistically speaking, have a good chance of taking us down to the 0.042 area or lower. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, I might use a different chart because I want volume. I like volume. It's kind of something great about Telcoin, by the way, which is kind of an odd thing to say, but I think something great is that it's not on a bunch of exchanges. Like clearly, you're on a bunch of exchanges, but you're not on Bybit, or you're not on Binance, you're not on Coinbase, you're not on Gemini or Kraken, you're not on any American exchanges. And you are an American coin, right? You've actually got partnerships with the state. You have your own bank in America for crypto. Like Telcoin is set up, but they're not on any exchanges yet. When you get exchange listings, typically that listing promotes selling pressure, but before then you get buying pressure. So there should be some buying pressure in reference to that in the future. So that's kind of exciting. That's something that's a catalyst. That's something to look forward to, right? Maybe my lower calls here will be invalidated because Binance starts to buy Telcoin so they can list it on their exchange, or Coinbase does, or maybe Telcoin doesn't maybe Binance doesn't buy Telcoin, that you have to pay to get on Binance, right? So maybe they pay, and because of that, Binance works the price up before they list. Whatever the case may be. Typically, a Binance or Coinbase listing, one of those big exchanges, does promote growth, and then once the listing happens, you do sell off afterwards. Okay. We look at the 1 hour RSI, bearish. Well, it's bullish. I suppose it's volatile, right? Overbought, oversold. You're very volatile, but bearish because you've got these lower highs coming in here, right? Lower highs here. I would think that we do proceed lower. Stochastics are bullish at the moment. Postured in a bearish way, but you're bullish at the moment, to be fair. A little double top there makes me think that we go lower. A lot of volume here on the 1 hour time frame. The most volume that you saw really since your low, and bupkis. You get nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. I'm not impressed. And the MACD is crossing above the zero, but you've been moving sideways. I don't really care, right? You crossed above the zero here. You pushed a little bit higher, sure, but inevitably saw a lower low. So maybe we push a little bit higher here or there, but I don't really think we will, personally. Maybe by the time you watch this video, we're above 0.0051 or 52. We could even be above 0.0055, but I'm still not impressed. I would be impressed if we get above this point here. If we can get above 0.0063 and close on a daily basis, any lower price action that we have is out the window. 0.0063 and above it's time to buy. Okay, it's time to FOMO, because this was a misleading pattern here. We're not going down. It's a farce. We're actually moving up. Some kind of catalyst is stepping in. 4 hour time frame, looking at the RSI. It kind of looks bullish. It kind of does. Higher lows, lower highs, you're breaking out. I mean, it kind of looks bullish here. Higher highs in the RSI right now. Lower highs in the price. That's hidden bearish divergence. That's actually not a good thing. Stochastics are at the same area that you rejected before, where you found support before, And the MACD is sad. But you're moving sideways, so the MACD might not matter as much. Daily time frame, looking at this now. The RSI tried to bounce off the 50. You had really good... Man, back here, I was so confident that we were going to rally. The rest of the market didn't rally, though. The rest of the market's just kind of chilling, and I think that might be why you're chilling as well. This pump, I'm pretty sure, was the result of the Telcoin news, right? That they were getting their own bank. They have their own bank, effectively now. Telcoin has their own bank, their own crypto bank. They've got it for U.S. dollars and for cryptos. Buy the hype, sell the news. We haven't had the sell the news crash yet. I thought this was it, but I think we're probably going to go a little bit lower, see a little bit healthier of a retracement. If we were to bounce here, I think we would have done it already. If you wanted to bounce off the 50, you would have done it already. That's my thoughts. Now here we are grinding it out and actually getting below the 50. Stochastics have reset a little bit, but they do look bearish at the moment, to be fair. And the MACD is bullish overall, which implies that, again, I doubt that we see a lower low. It implies that this will be a higher low and that we do move higher over time. But we can go lower before bouncing off the zero or even bouncing above the zero. We can go lower and still maintain this bullish posturing. So, I wouldn't say that I'm 100% confident that we're going to see this retracement happen, but I'm like 80% of the way there, at 70% at least, that we see 0042, 0037, 0034, somewhere in that range before moving higher. When we do move higher, here's the fun part. Let's actually use the all-time history. Yeah, the weekly RSI looks great, the stochastics look good, and the MACD is kind of beat up, to be fair, but whatever. You've been moving sideways for a long time, so it's not going to help you. The long term, we're going to be moving up. You're in the process now of a move that's very similar to this, very similar to this, very similar to this. You're just going to have a little hiccup first, right? Like you might see a little hiccup here before you actually get your rally on. I would think that this next rally pushes us up to our all-time high area, if not even beyond there. So Telcoin is right now, regardless of the downside that's implied here, you are basically in the process of a move that will take you up anywhere from, I would think, at a minimum, almost, let's just say 4x, maybe just below there, to a maximum 12x or more. Very, very crazy potential here. We take the high, we put it at the low here, you hit the golden ratio, you came back down, I would thoroughly expect, based off the fibs that we see the 786 or 886, that's anywhere from a 5x to a 7x, 8x move, right? At 2.5, 2.6 to 4 cents there. That's the next target destination. And if we don't stop here, it's only because we went higher. So not financial advisor, not a financial advisor. Is it a good time to buy Telcoin? Well, compared to where it's been, sure. It's a good time to buy. I think if you wait, you'll have a better opportunity to buy. Imagine that I'm right. Let's just pretend for 1 second that we live in a reality where I'm correct on this call. And instead of buying here, you waited until we went down to 0042 or lower, right? So I'm trying to get it right there. Whatever, 0043, whatever, or lower. That 5x move now turns into a 6x move. That 7x move turns into a 9x move, right? So is it worth waiting? I think it is. Not a financial advisor, not a financial advisor. But I would FOMO in thoroughly if we get above 0064, if I'm not mistaken. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I am kind of curious. What do we do here with this low to this high? What did we do? Golden ratio bounce to the T. It's perfect. Look at how well we're respecting this. You guys know, maybe you don't know, but I've been doing this for 10 years, so let me tell you, because this is something that I know. Whenever you have a retracement, your retracement is typically done. It's declared that it's done. Not whenever you break the downtrend. You can still come down lower. Not whenever you break the second downtrend or you get a double bottom, right? It's not, the retracement's not over, and you're not thinking about higher prices until you get above the 236. It's no mistake that you found direct resistance right there. Once you get a weekly close above the 236, that validates this as a low, which it's already a valid low. We've got higher lows and higher highs, but in terms of the fib, it validates it as a low of the retracement, and then it becomes entirely appropriate once we get above the 236 here, which is also at our golden ratio there. Isn't that perfect? Once we get above that point there, it's completely appropriate to only consider 21 cents and beyond. Okay? Once you get above the 236. Little fun fact for you there. And that's what we're going to do with this next retracement. We're going up to the 786, 886 area right here within this retracement, which will technically break us above the 236, which means that after this next move, the only thing we should be thinking about is 21 cents to $1 or more. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Here we are at about half a cent projected to go lower. Bye-bye.